A tragedy on the Deadpool 2 set, and The Defenders is coming out August 18th. This is episode 143 of Marvel Movie News, coming at you now.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk, we talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Marvel Movie News.
We are the Marvel Movie News, and hello everyone. This is episode 143, and it is coming to you from the Sanctum Sanctorum, which is actually the original base of the Defenders. So Matt Key could not be here because Burning Man is coming up, and
I'm here, Matt Key.
And he has lost his mind.
It's true.
But we're going to bring you all the news from all the studios and why you should be just as excited as we are. So please subscribe to us on iTunes at Marvel Movie News. You can find us at youtube.com/Popcorn Talk Network. You can find us through the Popcorn Talks website, which is popcorntalknetwork.com. On Twitter, we're at Marvel News PTN. And Facebook, we should do that more often. Facebook.com/Marvel News Show. So follow us, like us. And if you tweet a link out to the show with a message telling people about the live show, then AntMan in the booth will retweet you. AntMan.
Hello, yes. Always quick on the draw, you know?
He has to get
His
bigger
retweets are
so he
much...
Can get
yeah,
to.
exactly. There you go.
He's small. He has to grow, then speak. I get it.
Indeed.
Little tiny lungs.
Yes, and that voice that you hear is Coy Jandreau at CoyJandreau.
Always full-lunged and prepared to talk with zeal.
And next to him, he's an actor, he's a photographer, he's an all-around great guy, and he loves Marvel and all things nerdy. We have Justin Baker.
What's up, guys?
Friend of the show, fighting a cold.
I am fighting a cold today, so my voice will be a little more sultry for all of you listening.
Yeah, well, the people in the Midwest will love that.
Yeah, you're going to enjoy this one, guys.
We have Colt Bedeau tweeting from the Star Jammer, and of course, our associate producer, Ollie Dreamboat. I'm sorry, Drennan.
Oh, no, it's fine. I prefer Dreamboat, actually. And I'm sorry about last week when I came in and caused a disturbance.
Yeah, you Kool-Aid manned your way into the studio.
I'm not going to be hired by S.H.I.E.L.D. anytime soon.
He came in like, shh, and then knocked everything down when he went into the door.
It was pretty awesome.
Nice.
Okay, so starting off at the beginning of our news, and I don't know if you want to take this or not, Coy, but there was some tragic news on the Deadpool 2 set. Joy Harris, a stunt woman for Zazie Beetz' character, who is playing Domino in Deadpool 2, unfortunately, she was participating in her first stunt in this film as Zazie Beetz' stunt woman, and an accident occurred and she died. So she was the first African-American female professional road racer, and they had actually practiced the stunt many times before filming, and it was just a freak accident. On the last take, Joy lost control of the motorcycle and went through a plate glass window. She wasn't wearing a helmet at the time because the character was not wearing a helmet for that particular stunt. So because of this, the production of Deadpool 2 has been suspended indefinitely. We don't know when it will resume. The release date is June 1st, 2018, but that may change because of this. And a number of cast members tweeted out on social media their feelings. Ryan Reynolds says that today we tragically lost a member of our crew while filming Deadpool. We're heartbroken, shocked, and devastated, but recognize nothing can come close to the grief and inexplicable pain her family and loved ones must feel in this moment. My heart pours out to them along with each and every person she touched in this world. Josh Brolin also had very heartfelt things to say. I think this is, we have to remember that, I mean, yes, the stunts that we see in movies are amazing and breathtaking, and they're also very dangerous. And I think this really rams it home. And a month ago, we lost a stunt person on The Walking Dead.
I think people assume because of like CGI that everything's fake, but it's not. Like I think people assume like with spectacle comes less and less like risk, but it's more risk because you're so used to seeing stuff. Like if Doctor Strange had come out before Inception, that would have been mind blowing. But since Inception already happened, we'd gotten accustomed to it. I think that's happening with stunts. Like we're so used to Tom Cruise being a crazy person that we get used to these stunts, and like these are dangerous things that people are risking their lives for literally our entertainment, and that like the fact that stunt people don't even have an Oscar, like the
Oh
fact
my! I
that,
don't
like,
get me
even
started on
believe.
that.
like it's stuff like that. It's just it's such a
ridiculous.
lack of respect for an integral part of the entertainment. Like an Oscar is only worth what it represents, and if the Academy thinks that acting is great, they should also think that the other half of the performance is great. And Tom Hardy, when he was doing Mad Max, had his stuntman at every single press junket next to him and wouldn't talk without his boy next to him, and that's a stunt person. That's how it should be. That's why Tom Hardy's greatest. But we need that kind of representation for these people that are risking their lives for our entertainment.
Absolutely.
So there's no reason that this should have happened. And there's also, like, I get that the character's not wearing a helmet, but, like, man, we can rotoscope out a helmet. Like, I just,
Yeah.
the safety there, it freaks me out.
Yeah, I think there's definitely going to be some discussions soon, especially with, I mean, this is, you know, this has happened way too frequently. Like, it should never happen, period. But the fact that it's happened a couple of times in the last few months, and we've got the issues with, you know, what was it, last year, 2 years ago with the train.
The train. I mean, that was...
And that was,
Yeah.
granted, that was very stupid. They were
Yeah.
not following, but, like, these are big budget productions
Yeah,
where this is
Deadpool 2 is
happening
huge.
now.
Yes.
So it's like, if this can happen, like, yes, you look at the train situation, it's like, okay, that was stupid. These guys are idiots.
This was just a stunt, man.
But this is like, we're getting to the point where it's like, oh, but if this can happen on these sets, like, there needs to be some talks about safety to it. And I don't know. I mean, again, I know that they go through a lot. Especially on professional sets like this, I've been on sets where it's like, you know, if there's gunplay, it's like, hey, everybody, we have a crew call. Everybody comes and looks at the gun. We all see, like, this kind of stuff. So I do know that safety is a concern. And I don't, you know, in this situation, you said it like a freak accident. I don't know where, you know, if corners were cut or not. You know, that's the
I mean, I
question.
don't feel like corners
And I
were
don't
cut
feel
since they
like
were testing the water so many times. Like you said, I
Yeah.
think it's a freak accident and, like, plate glass window. I can't imagine how. Like, I'm wondering if the bike lost control. I mean, they're investigating it now. That's why the production's delayed. They're making sure all the T's are crossed. But, like, geez, it's tragic.
Yeah. I mean, if they're going to agree that costuming and makeup is an important part of a film, they need to also realize that stunt is an extremely
It's an
important
integral
part of a film.
We wouldn't have the movies we have right now without
Yeah.
stunt.
Good
We
luck
wouldn't have-
having an action movie without
Well, yeah,
these
like John Wick,
professional stunt people.
This
Oh,
team
dude,
behind
John
it,
Wick.
like John Wick, that was all stunt,
that?
and this is that team though. How does
Yeah.
this team? So if it can happen, what I'm saying is, if they
Yeah,
can
it can
this
happen to
team,
anybody.
it can happen to anybody.
And if you're
Yes.
gonna risk your life for a job, like, you should be honored for that job. Like,
Yeah, you should get the recognition for it.
Be recognized as a legitimate, you know, award-winning career.
Yeah. Well, continuing on with Deadpool in general, there were some new set photos that were released and actually features a classic comics callback with it. You can see actor Ryan Reynolds. He's in full Deadpool garb, and he's sitting on a Vespa. Yeah, that's a Vespa.
It reminds me so much of that video game shot when he's on the little, like,
Oh yeah.
you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, the little spaceship.
Yeah.
Like, that's that to me. Like, they brought that to life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently this is possibly an
so good.
homage to Deadpool number 68, where Rhino has demolished Deadpool's car, but Deadpool still has to go
I know
after a
what you're talking
target.
about. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That is great.
Yeah, then Deadpool like makes a makeshift desk into a ramp and then goes right through to get to his target, and he's riding a Vespa the entire time.
And the legs
I
crossed.
love exactly the way he's sitting on
the
that.
dainty ankle is so
Like, you know that's going like 70, and he's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
doo-doo-doo.
Every, like, I love how, like, in these photos are. Like, we saw the photos of him, like, diving into that party and, like, everything else. Like, there's comedy and stills here. Like, Deadpool's such a funny character that Ryan Reynolds' physical comedy shows in paparazzi photos. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Yes,
and there
there's
we
the
go.
moment.
Yes.
Oh, so excited.
Yeah, we also have some new set photos where we see Cable and Domino teaming up. So new set photos of Brawlin and Beats as Cable and Domino, and they've been released by Just Jared. And it also includes Brolin's stunt double, and it's basically just see they're strutting around the streets. Brolin has the incredibly huge gun that Cable should always have.
It's the size
turned
of
up
Josh
to 11.
Brolin. I love that they went all the way and made his gun.
I think you
is.
posted something on Facebook about how you're excited about
My
people
hype was up to
googling Cable and looking at
Just
the
that
80s
journey
comics
they're
and
going through.
90s comics, just being like, wait, what?
And then what happened?
What is this
And
guy?
then what happened?
Wait,
Yeah.
who? And he did what? Wait, he's from the future. Wait,
Like,
I'm confused.
Just civilians
What?
being like, That's
Dude.
yeah, like that's what
All
they're
the
gonna
stuff with the
journey through.
X-Men, like I was so
Have you
excited.
tried to read his Wikipedia page? It's hilarious. Because like I've got all that bouncing around my head. I was like, what's that like streamlined?
Yeah,
It's not
no.
streamlined. The Wikipedia page is just like, bah, bah, bah. It's like a beautiful
Yeah,
line chart.
his comic story is there's no linear
There's
to
no,
it.
there's
You
nothing.
can't-
It's
just
and the fact that they're going all the way, like they have the cloak, like his warrior cloak, the gun the size of like a 7-year-old. Like there's just, it's so good.
You think Bishop will show up at some point?
I think that's gonna be more X-Men based.
Yeah.
I think it's
Dude,
Looking
that would
forward
be-
to that, though. Hope
that would
they
be
do
an
it.
amazing crossover if we could
Cable
make
and
that
Bishop.
happen.
Yeah, oh, because he was good when they let him have time in the X-Men movie.
Yeah.
Like that Bishop was great for his 5 minutes. I want
Yeah.
more of that.
Yeah,
Just like
exactly.
Blink. Like Blink's great for the 2 minutes.
For-
like
That we
Exactly.
actually see her.
Oh,
It's like
oh,
it's
cool.
good that we
Some
have her in the
characters
Gifted.
that we like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of the things I'm most excited about The Gifted is actually getting time to stretch out with these characters that we love. But still no Bishop love yet. We need to get there.
Yeah. And yeah.
Lo Rosario in the chat says Cable needs more pouches. Like, he looks great, but he needs more pouches.
He's
But-
only got 70. He needs like
Yeah.
75, 80.
Come on, 80.
It's a bit
layered
more
up.
pouches. I mean, there's room in those boots, right?
But I'm really excited for that arm. Just seeing, like, just how it's going to
Yeah.
translate
The previs
final
arm.
product.
Yeah, apparently Josh Brolin and his stunt person have the same tape marks on the
Yeah.
same arm, so that's going to be an epic looking
Yeah,
arm.
right.
Well, the
I think
you're like,
previous
oh,
photos were so cool.
CGI.
Well, the previous photos were rad because it looked like something you'd see today. Like it looks
Mm-hmm.
like something like someone could actually have that prosthetic arm. I liked how like it didn't feel
Yeah.
like a Terminator like where it looks like dated or future. It felt right. Like I really liked previous photos.
It actually felt like it would come from our dystopian future.
Yes, exactly. We're rapidly approaching.
Ugh.
So the Deadpool animated series will actually be really different from the movies. FX CEO John Landgraf said that the Deadpool cartoon, which is being worked on by Donald Glover and his brother Stephen Glover, has a very different tone than from the Deadpool movie. And it'll be really different from the movies, Landgraf said. It's animated and they're live action, but it also has a different tone and editorial voice as evidenced by Donald and Stephen Glover, who have their own voice and tone. We really wanted to make something that was distinctly different from the movies. So I'm guessing it's different.
I
I'm
don't
guessing it's
know.
different from it. Things have
I
a
just-
different tone.
I wish we
maybe?
could get
It's
them
different.
on the show so we could ask them if
That's,
it was going to be
that's cool.
I
different.
know.
So
You know.
I
That'd be
actually
great.
just did a report similar to this about Donald Glover's schedule. He was filming in London for Lando Calrissian and running back and forth. He was finalizing the writing of Atlanta Season 2 and working on some of the footage for it, and on set while being Lando was writing Deadpool. So Lando Calrissian on the Millennium Falcon writing Deadpool 2 is a thing.
Wow.
I feel like I don't
Wow.
understand why he, is sidelining Childish Gambino because he's not really doing anything else.
No, he's
you
got so
know?
much time.
That's-
Like, he can
he's got
easily
so
rap
much
while doing
time.
this.
I'm a little. now that I hear this, I'm just like, come on, dude.
God.
You're on
Yeah.
set writing cartoons. You've got plenty of time.
If you have the
apparently,
time to write a
if you have
cartoon
time to write a cartoon
while
while you're
you're
sitting on
Millennium
set,
Falcon,
then obviously
shit.
you're not doing much.
I mean, he hasn't won like awards for writing while acting, while doing stand up, while working on new things
Yeah.
before.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's
Sounds
not like
good.
he's being his childhood hero on a film.
What a
or
crazy!
Something.
I mean, come on, national hero,
You
Donald
got,
Glover.
you got.
Dude, but the fact that so the quote, I'll probably be dropping it today or tomorrow. The quote talking about Donald Glover embodying Lando Calrissian while still having the wherewithal to be like, hold on, guys, I gotta also finish out Atlanta and Deadpool real quick. Like that's such an insane amount of like brain activity.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's awesome. The universe is awesome in that way. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm
Although,
glad
I
that he
mean,
has all
let's
of
be
this.
honest. If Lando Calrissian knew about Deadpool, he would write about him too.
That's true. I mean, it's just fair.
Let's just be honest.
You guys seen the picture of him and the original Lando in the coffee shop down the street?
No.
They met up like at Little Dom's. There's like pictures of like Donald hanging out at Little Dom's, and like it's the coolest thing to just see two Landos just like broing out, being like made of charm.
Only if he's got
Wow.
the Colt 45. That's
I mean,
what
I
I want
think
them to
that's
both have, the Colt
Yeah.
45s. 'Cause
I mean,
that-
you just have to. It's all about Schlitz. It's all about malt liquor.
Yeah.
All about that Schlitz.
All about
If Deadpool animated series has Colt 45 and that's the reference to
Yeah.
him being Lando while writing it, I'll be so happy with that
That
metal
would
layer.
be so good.
So happy. But yeah, I like that the cartoon's not trying to be the same thing. I'm glad
Yeah.
the cartoon isn't trying to.
Yeah,
'cause
I guess
we
the
don't
question
need
is though, like, because the movie has done such a good job of, in my opinion, embodying the comic books. Mm-hmm. When you say things like it's gonna be so different, I get that yes, obviously it's gonna be different. It's an entirely different medium, but the medium you're writing for lends itself even more to the comic books. So I guess the question is, are you still gonna have that heart at the core of it? Those kind of statements make me. It's like whenever somebody makes a remake of a song. if they completely go away from the original song,
Right.
I'm like, what's the point?
It's
Why
not
did
really
you
a
not?
negative
Yeah,
song.
exactly.
Right.
But if it's still got, you know, undertones of that song and it's got another song layered on top of it, then I'm like, all right, that's cool. Like I can get behind that.
Well, they can
So-
play with the fourth wall breaking a lot more in cartoons.
Oh, absolutely.
They can like in a lot of continuities, he's schizophrenic and he has multiple voices, and they use different colors to represent the different voices in
Yes.
his head, and that'd be a fun thing to play with in a cartoon, which you couldn't do it really in film.
Yeah.
You can also like go harder into the multiple characters. You have more time to play with these things, so it depends on what they see as different. Like,
yeah, exactly.
as long
That's
as they
the
don't-
problem. Like that's what I'm like with a statement like that. I'm like, oh, well, what do you mean by different?
It's also smart of an FX CEO just to have a quote. Like, this is
Yeah.
a smart man to be like, it's not out yet. We don't have a release date, but we're going to talk about it because Deadpool. Like,
Yeah.
he knows everyone's waiting. He knows that, like, we're talking about it right now. He knows
Yeah.
that, like, he's going to get attention. And he doesn't really say anything.
No,
This
no,
whole
he
quote is
doesn't.
like,
Just-
different.
It's like different.
Different.
Guess what? Different.
But now Google
Capital
Alerts
difference.
is like, Deadpool, CEO. Like,
It's
it's
different.
everywhere. Like, so it's smart. It's a great business move.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm hoping for some cartoony like stuff like screen wipes that involve food, like chimichangas, ribbons of chimichangas.
Unicorns.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much you can do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be fun. So Silver and Black, remember the Black Cat and Silver Sable adaptation release date has been revealed. It is going to be February 8th, 2019. Remember, this is going to be directed by Gina Price Bythewood. You can still see some of her work on Black Girl Nerds. You can catch them out on Twitter. So, a source from Splash Report, they allege further details about the film. It's going to be 7 years after Mendel Strom, and that's Robot Master, and his two henchmen, the Scorpion, which we already know from Spider-Man Homecoming, hopefully, and the Tarantula. They killed her father. So, Silver Sable is hired by the government to find Felicia Hardy. So, Felicia Hardy, the Black Cat. She's a master hacker and thief. She's stolen valuable secret information, and she's hiding. She's in Paraguay, Argentina, and Brazil. Those are excellent destinations, by the way. And then once there, Sable is going to ask her old contract, Dmitry Smirnikov. I think I got that
Yeah,
right.
sounds good.
The chameleon.
Yeah.
To locate her. But it seems the government are the only ones that are looking for Black Cat. So there's not really an appearance or mention of Peter Parker or Spider-Man. You know, there's some genetic enhancement that's going to happen, and we're expecting Dominic Fortune, Jessica Drew, that's Spider-Woman, Roxanne Oil, Sergei Kravenov.
Sergei Kravinoff.
I know, I just know him as Craven the Hunter. I just know him as Craven the Hunter. Yes. Lonnie Lincoln and Charles Standish.
beautiful. So
So
beautiful.
this actually sounds pretty great.
It's
you
so
know?
much.
It's a lot.
But if you
it's
do
a lot,
it
but
like
it's
a gang
basically
like movie and they're all like sitting around a table and it's just the who's who, that works for me.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's kind of like an espionage spy movie, you know, a little bit of diplomatic relations going on, some genetic enhancement, and then you have Craven the Hunter in there, just kind of like, "Rawr, I'm gonna maul people.
Yeah, it's interesting.
would
I mean,
be
I love
okay
the
for
fact
this
that we're
for-
like
Yeah.
we're
for like
talking
an hour,
about
45
a
minutes.
movie that is
Casually
a
has
year and a
Craven.
half away from here.
And
like,
yeah,
why
that's
do
we
like
know more about this?
2019.
This is a lot. Why do we know
As
more
soon as you
about
said
this
that,
than
I
the
was like,
Deadpool
wait,
show?
what?
You're like
know.
describing
Look at
the
that.
plot.
Yeah, I know. I was like, you have an
Yeah,
entire
it's
plot
a
for a movie that's a year and a half away.
Was there, like,
is
a
this
written
completely
adaptation
written?
leaked?
Like,
Well,
yeah.
these are alleged details. So, but
That
these
is-
are very
Splash
detailed
Report
very
wrote
details.
these.
detailed.
Didn't they?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Man.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, we
like,
got to
who
the
are they
point now
forgetting?
with these like superhero movies where we have brought a lot of characters into them. So I think it's totally doable. It's just it's interesting to bring that many characters that we haven't really seen into a movie.
I think the use of
Based
Jessica
on-
Drew is really interesting because she's the only
Yeah.
one that feels like
Yeah.
it's a little because you know Craven and Chameleon always have a history. They're related and they do a lot of stuff together in the comics.
For sure.
That makes sense. And Tombstone fits in the underbelly world. And Roxanne Oil you can just like shoehorn
Well,
into
yeah,
anything.
anything.
So every name for me makes it. Dominic Fortune the same. He's mom. But Jessica Drew was always a detective and separate and like her Spider-Woman connection was always like a joke. Like in the Avengers, Spider-Man and Spider-Woman joke about their spider connectivity.
Yeah.
She's not a part of this world per se. So I hope Sony doesn't just go like, well, we can't use Spider-Man. Is there anyone? A Spider-Woman. A Spider-Woman.
Yeah, that sounds good.
What if we use the
Yeah.
woman version? Like, I just don't want them to waste Jessica Drew because she's a rad character.
Yeah.
Like, she's smart. Like,
Well, and it's interesting because, like, you know, like we were talking about, like, you know, in a movie with this many characters that, I mean, as comic book fans, yes, we know them.
Yeah.
But we've had this discussion many times when it comes to comic book movies and them trying to create them and bringing the origin story over and over and over again, because to the layman and the regular, viewer, like, you do still have to hit, the rest of the world with these movies. So you do kind of have to have an origin story of some sort. So with like 7 or 8 characters that we've never seen before, like bringing in a snippet of who they are quickly.
I'm just worried about like
that is so Street Fighter what you just said to me.
Like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, those movies, it was just like all of a sudden you're just like shoehorning in facts like while you're talking. It's like, yes, actually, I hunt people. I am Craven. I have killed Spider-Man myself.
Cut to.
Like, it's just like, now it's another person. It's like, oh wow.
It's like, wait, he's killed Spider-Man?
What did I miss?
Oh, is that why he's not in this movie?
Yeah, and like a lot of that works, but the Jessica Drew angle, my biggest thing is I don't want them to waste Jessica Drew, because that could be its own movie. Great. The Jessica Drew comic that just ended, because comics are dying. Buy comics, please buy comics. I need them. Jessica Drew comic that just ended is her as a mom, like, and the first arc is trying to figure out who the dad is, and then the second arc is like this Manny that's taking care of him who happens to be Porcupine, and the third arc is like them falling in love, and it's beautiful and it's heartfelt and it's about a mom, and it's like a really good book. That can't happen if they waste her.
Well, and like you were talking about, like it being like a spy movie, like that was my favorite thing about Winter Soldier, was it wasn't a superhero movie, it was a spy movie that had superheroes in it. So
if they do that,
they do that, great. If I don't have to hear origin stories for all of them, and I can just kind of get an idea of who they are.
You could Bond villain this easily. You could Bond villain it where like suddenly a guy comes in with a lion around his neck, and we're all like, yeah, and everybody else is like, that's a weird choice. We're all like, shut up, Raven's here. And like, we don't need to have them like. And
they don't have to explain it to us, as long as he's a bad guy, and the audience is like, oh, that guy must be bad.
But is that how you want your Craven?
No.
That's the question.
No.
It's like, do we want our Craven to be a guy that's introduced by just being, or do you want a hunt and a last hunt?
Yes.
That's what I want. So I'm just worried about them wasting my boys.
Yeah, it's just too many characters to introduce when we haven't even been introduced to Black Cat, Silver Sable yet, and those are the main characters.
Yeah.
And it's bad enough that Black Cat and Silver Sable have to share a movie, let alone that, so it's like, oh god.
Well, like I said,
this is so much as sharing it. I mean, if they take a James Bond kind of aspect to it, then, you have James Bond, and then you have main villain. So that's what you'd have. You'd have Silver Sable, and you'd have Felicia Hardy. I mean, that
as the two main
people.
And I mean, if they,
everyone that doesn't have their own movie.
Unless, like, Jessica Drew's
and they're
like,
all scrapping trying to get their own movie.
I'm just picturing this.
With a year and a half, who knows what other, like, there might be other movies that are coming out before then that would actually have these characters
set up at least.
I mean, like, you could have Black Cat, and I mean, there could, throw another Spider-Man movie at me in the next year. I'd be okay with that.
Oh, yeah.
You guys sitting on anything, Sony? Let me know. Marvel, what you got?
Yeah.
My only concern is, if you've seen The Crow, right? You guys have both seen you guys?
Yeah, the
back
original.
in the day.
Yeah, my only concern is that these characters are in it, but they're at the long table in The Crow, and they're all just sitting there, and then Silver Sable and Black Cat come in and they shoot everybody, and they're like, look, Tombstone was there, look, Craven was there. Do you know what I mean? I'm just afraid we're going to get that treatment, and they have one fight each, and then it's like, guys, but I love those guys.
So there's going to be some guy with like
but
a
that's funny.
huge,
That's like somebody being like,
just casually,
and he's just like, boom, boom, boom.
That's like somebody being like, in any of the Marvel movies, an Easter egg, oh, such and such was in that movie.
Right.
Their name was in the scroller.
In Homecoming, when Matt Gargan gets thrown off the ferry,
Yeah.
I'm like, don't do that to Matt Gargan. Like, I was so afraid that was the only bit of the movie. I was like, oh, good.
Cool.
Yes, the
He's
Scorpion
back.
lives.
Like, he's at the post-credit scene saved that for me, because I was so afraid they'd waste Scorpion.
Yeah.
Continuing on, Venom. So Riz Ahmed,
I'm excited.
he's in talks to join the Spider-Man spinoff. So according to Variety, he's in early talks to join the film. There are a few details that they are going to work out. So there's no information about the actor's role. That hasn't been revealed yet. But they do say that Ahmed will be playing a popular Marvel Comics character. So Sony Pictures had no comment when it came to the casting.
It's interesting because Venom doesn't have a lot of popular characters that rotate around him, except Carnage, which he said he is not.
Yeah.
Dude,
Like, when you think of Venom, you think of Spider-Man heroes, but only, like, separately. And then you think, like, his solo books are usually symbiote-based, dealing with his own inner turmoil, other spin-off symbiotes. They're not, and none of them are iconic, really, except Carnage.
I mean, well, there's the, him being the anti-hero. Like, you could go with any of Spider-Man's villains and have Venom going after them as well.
So that opens up everyone.
That opens up everyone, right there.
It does.
I mean, eventually, yes, I would love to see Carnage, but I mean, I want to see Carnage in a rated R movie.
Right.
Like I want to see Deadpool in a rated
I
R
think
movie.
Venom's gonna be rated R.
Is it?
I think so.
Yeah,
all right, cool.
I believe that's what they said.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Tom
Because I
Hardy.
mean, I could see you doing. Venom
I don't
without
want him
making it,
less than rated
but,
R.
Yeah.
Right. Tom Hardy like dancing around a PG-13 rating would be a waste of Tom Hardy as Venom. Like that'd just be
Yeah.
embarrassing. I mean, I could see him as like Vermin. I could see him as Carrion. I could see him as one of those like level of villain where you have to introduce, but like it's a waste of that actor. He's so good.
And I mean, we
so
could have.
good.
Like,
I mean,
you know,
He's real good.
we've got
I
the
mean,
other
remember
symbiotes
him
that
from
show up
Night
later,
Of?
but you don't want those before you have Carnage. Like if you're gonna bring in another symbiote, the next one has to be Carnage.
Jay Tesla says he could be Jackal. I could see him as Jackal. He's got like the gauntness. He's thin. He speaks well. He can be articulate. He can be a scientist.
Sure.
And be
That's
bold
good.
to start with Clone Saga, going right into it.
Dude.
Tom Holland came out and was like, "Oh, I do the Clone Saga," and I was like, "Yeah, you do, Tom Holland."
Oh man, yeah, because he gets to play himself and Ben Riley.
you imagine,
He
like,
gets to play two characters.
Bleach blonde Tom
Like,
Holland
yeah.
just running around like, "I'm Ben Riley," and he's like
Yeah.
a surfer bro. He's like, "Yeah, wear a sweatshirt."
Yeah, dude, that's good.
I'd see that. Here's my $14. I would
Yeah.
love that. If they introduced like Miles Warren in the Venom movie and then we get a Clone Saga, I will lose my mind.
And I guess it just all depends on which Venom they're going to follow. I mean, I still want Agent Venom personally, but they're doing Eddie Brock, so that's.
Yeah. So
know.
yeah, I mean, I liked Ultimate. I liked what they did with Venom in that.
Well, that's how you got the Topher Grace Venom.
I know, but that being said, here's
how
the
we
thing.
got
That's how we
I
got
think
Topher.
We don't
I
want
think
that.
that story would have. I think they could have done it well if they hadn't had 12 other villains in that movie, and you had just done a Topher Grace. Like, granted,
If they had just done Sandman, it could have been a good movie.
yeah, or
not-
that.
Sandman character was
Sandman was
really
awesome.
good.
Sandman
that
was great.
really
But
good
I
in
Sam
it.
Raimi
think-
wanted Sandman, and then they were like Venom, and he's like, "No, Sandman." They're like Venom, and he's like, "Fine."
I will throw in Venom.
And
I,
then 20
I
minutes
still
of Venom.
think I still think Venom could have been great. Because I think the Ultimate storyline in the comic books, it's such a good story. It really is.
Well,
I love Eddie Brock. I will always. That's always going to be my Venom. Like, when
But
it
yeah,
comes
to me, Eddie Brock is muscle
big- yeah,
built, like,
absolutely.
and he's so angry at Peter
Yeah.
Parker for wronging him. He's so he ruined his career, and he hates everything about him, and he's a God-fearing man. Like, there's just so much righteous rage in Eddie Brock. That's what I want Tom Hardy to play. I want, like, Tom Hardy's so good at being a guy that's charming beyond his own depths of evil. Like, when you look at Tom
for
Hardy,
sure.
you see a darkness, and then you see, like, but why do I want to join him on this killing spree?
And are we starting with an origin with this
We don't know.
movie?
Don't know.
Because like, are we
Yeah.
going to start at the bell?
Up here.
It would be amazing if we just started at the bell tower,
That
and
was the
since they
pitch I
can't
had.
use
That was my
Spider-Man,
pitch. You open the
just
bell tower,
see
and then
like
Spider-Man
a
6
silhouette.
ends at the bell tower. That's what you do.
Yeah.
You build it up retroactively.
Yeah, that would be
Maybe. But
that
who
would
is he
be
playing?
Awesome.
Steven Ingram says Ben Riley, maybe Scarlet Spider. What do you guys think about that?
Well, he's a clone.
So.
True.
That wouldn't work.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
no.
Sorry, Steve. I don't see it.
Yeah,
Unless they wanna
just
change the story.
taking Peter Parker out of it just throws me for a loop. That's basically what happens with me. That's why I can just concentrate on Flash Thompson and then doing like that storyline with it. But they don't have that. They have Eddie Brock, so it's like, oh, okay, all right then. I guess I'm just gonna sit back and just ride this ride.
Old school futuristic said Morbius. That'd be fun.
Oh,
Venom versus
wow.
Morbius. They said it's a horror movie. So
Oh, okay.
They
So
just
they
go
just throw it in.
symbiote versus vampire.
Yeah,
Because
with the little suckers on the fingers and
Because
everything.
he wouldn't work in the Spider-Man we have right now. He wouldn't work in a John Hughes
No,
movie.
well,
He's too
he
young.
couldn't.
Wow.
But he could work in a crazy depraved Venom movie. Good call, futuristic. That's a weird idea.
Bring
I
on
like
the
that.
vampires.
Why not?
Why not? So Ant-Man and the Wasp, Evangeline Lilly, Michael Douglas, and Paul Rudd have been spotted on set by Just Jared shooting a scene for Ant-Man and the Wasp, and it's basically them hanging out. We have civilian clothes going on with each of them. So, I mean, but also the set photos reveal an Easter egg straight from the comics. It's a new photo, and the filming location is in Atlanta. And it has it gives us a clue as to what Scott Lang, who's played by Paul Rudd, has been up to. And the photo shows Lang's van repainted with the logo for something called Ex-Con Security Consultants. And that would appear to be a reference to Nick Spencer's 2015-2016 run on Ant-Man and the Astonishing Ant-Man, in which Scott tried to leave the superhero life behind and start a security firm. And this is actually what we keep on talking about with Ant-Man and the Wasp, that we think that's, you know, that's obviously what they're going to do. And it looks like this is confirmation of that.
I think that's the right thing to do. Like
Yeah.
that's one of the more popular storylines. I used to have a problem with it being so like they only pull from the newest things, but like there's just so much continuity to pull from the old stuff. So this totally works for me. It's a fun run.
Yeah, and I like the fact that like with with these Marvel movies, it's like you can only make so many action-packed movie about this and that. It's like coming from something like this is like, oh, cool. This is a storyline that kind of branches off, and it's not one of these big everybody's fighting everything type things. At least to start with, I'm sure he's gonna have to deal with some stuff. But I loved the fact that like the first one was a heist movie, and it was just we talked about like a spy movie with superheroes. It was a heist movie with superheroes. Like that's what I want at this point. If you're gonna throw a superhero movie at me, just throw me a good movie and then just layer superhero on top of it. Like just paint it. with
this is
superhero.
a Paul Rudd movie, and this is gonna be another Paul Rudd movie. And this looks like a frame from a Paul Rudd movie.
Yes.
Like this could be an Apatow
Dude,
still.
you know this is gonna. There's a joke already right here with like that guy walking up to the van, being like, "You can't park here, sir," and him being like, "Oh, I was just waiting for a pizza." Like, I mean,
but he's actually sleeping
by the way,
in the back of the van.
If you take that line, I do get credit for that.
True. That's how it works. That's just.
This just looks like he's sleeping in the back of this van. You know, he's kind of had a tough time going with it, and he's really good at underdog anyway. So I kind of like it to have these like small origins, and then the film itself is going to get even smaller.
I want so much.
I got it. That's good.
I want so much of Angeline Lilly, and her like working out photos where she looks ready to superhero
Yeah, she
up.
looks jacked.
Right.
I love it.
So excited. Yeah,
And their relationship too. That's such a good relationship.
I'm excited to see it. I feel like we kept like dancing around at the first movie. I really like Ant-Man, but every time they cut away from like the moment, like it was a movie of like it's gonna be and I wanna actually be there. Like I'm ready for the sequel because I think it's gonna be what I wanted the first one to be, like fully formed.
Yeah.
All right, nice. Continuing with movies, so Thor, we have a new photo where Valkyrie fights Loki, and it's a new Ragnarok photo. Valkyrie's played by Tessa Thompson, and here she is with Tom Hiddleston, Loki. And I love this. It's them in the middle of a knife fight, and you have a knife fight between Valkyrie and Loki. I say Valkyrie.
Oh yeah. I feel like Loki is only gonna be like joking around. At
He's
no
just
point
playing.
is this. Yeah. At no point is he actually on the
Yeah.
line.
No.
He's the god of mischief. He's barely there.
Yeah.
And
But
I love
Valkyrie in a fist fight, 100%.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, she takes down everything. This is an Entertainment Weekly photo featuring the two of them, and Tessa Thompson goes on to dish about her relationship with Loki. That fight was so much fun, so much fun. First of all, the choreography was really punchy and physical, not as much sword work, which sort of keeps you at arm's length with people. I think because Tom's character is involved, there's a cheekiness to that fight that made it just really fun. It just felt like a tennis match. I don't know if it remains, but there are a lot of one-liners between us, so it has a real sort of sense of humor. Yeah,
Good, that makes sense.
yeah. So she also figures out that Loki's not to be trusted. Always a good fact to figure out. But that there are two folks that kind of come from the same place at the same time. So they have the same chip on their shoulder in that way. It's interesting.
I didn't realize Loki wasn't to be trusted. That was that's news to me. We just broke that here at Marvel Movie News. Loki is not to be trusted.
Yeah. Yeah, Tessa Thompson confirms Loki is not to be
this movie
trusted.
makes me so excited.
It's funny because this movie is already the one I want to own the most on DVD because I feel like there's going to be so many special features of just like 80% improv means there's like 8 movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
And the commentary is going to be great because we're going to hear stories about the 8 different movies we don't get to see. Like there's going to be so many deleted scenes.
He's my friend from work.
Like,
do
you know the story behind that?
Yeah, about the
Make-A-Wish?
kid. Yeah, that's amazing.
You know that?
Was it what?
He's a friend from work. They had a Make-A-Wish Foundation Day, and one of the kids that came to visit wrote that line. That line was written by a kid
and asked him to
visiting
say
set.
it. And he
And
did. And it's the most iconic line so far from the trailer.
Yeah,
Like, it's
and
amazing.
it's from a kid that like was visiting his hero. Like that's what these movies are for. It's to make people
That's
realize their heroes
fantastic.
are real, and our heroes then life imitating art, imitating life, imitating Make-A-Wish with Thor. Yes,
Yeah.
so
Yes.
excited.
And we know we all popped for that line, so.
Oh man, that first time that came up in the trailer, like
Dude, yeah. I was like, I fell out of my seat. I
Yeah.
was like, this is so good. This is everything about
the
this is
weirdest
so good.
movie I
I'm
never
so
thought I'd
excited.
see.
I know, right? Like, it's so funny because, like, whenever we talked about Thor Ragnarok, like, what, 6 months, a year ago, it was like, this might be an interesting movie.
weird.
We'll see. We don't know what's going to happen. Da-da-da.
And then it started getting
Guardians
details.
came out, and we're like, oh, sweet, Guardians, da-da-da. And then we get some more details, and then all of a sudden that trailer comes out, and you're like, what?
Well, it's funny because every detail made it more confusing.
Yeah.
Remember they were like, it's the Hulk and Thor. You're like, what? And then it was like, it's a road trip. Cosmic road trip. Jeff Goldblum.
Remember when the Darren thing,
Yeah.
Daryl thing came out? And then we were like, wait, what is this? No, this is fun,
And
but
then
this
the
isn't like the
trailer
movie.
came out, and we were all like, how is this somehow everything I expected and nothing I expected?
Oh, yeah.
Like
It's
it was
so
somehow
fun.
all the pieces, but in a way that I never would have like shaken and stirred together.
Yeah, it's just viewing it in a completely different way, and I'm just all about it.
Yeah.
I'm curious how that affects Thor, the character, going into Avengers 4, because he is a very the straight man in comedy in a lot of ways, and in
but
this,
he gets his liners
zingers
in,
constantly.
yeah.
But I'm wondering if they up that. Like clearly, this is influenced by Guardians.
Yes.
I'm
Clearly.
wondering if Thor
If it's
is going to
carry
influence
over.
Avengers.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
where
because he
that
wasn't
goes.
there. He wasn't there. So if he's
Well, and
in
it's like,
this
have
next
you
one-
watched any of the like the weird YouTube videos that he's
Yes.
got, where he's
I
like
saw-
when he talks about like the fact that like the Avengers have come together, and he's like, did you not need me?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that. Like
Was
that,
I just
yeah.
not?
How is that going to play in Avengers 3
yeah.
when they're back together?
Mm-hmm.
That's my curiosity.
Yeah, I really hope it's a character choice that carries over, because it's a fun character choice, and I think it's a
It's
fun
the way to
character
make
for
those movies
Thor.
sellable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Thor Ragnarok also has a new colorful international poster. So it goes along with exactly what the feel is for this movie.
Yeah,
It's
that's gorgeous.
brilliant and big, a lot of color. I mean, you have Hela just dominating
Looming.
the upper top of the poster, and she's got murder death kill all over her.
Oh, yeah.
That's what she looks like. And then of course you have Chris Hemsworth,
And it's
Thor
got
right
that
there,
awesome
in the middle.
80s vibe. Like
Yeah,
that.
and interestingly enough, right hand person is Valkyrie, awesome, but then left hand right there is Loki, and then of course Hulk behind him, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, it can't be November soon enough. Actually, it can. The year's flying by, but I'm excited for November
Yes,
Yeah.
it's right around the corner.
because we have mere days until Defenders. That's so soon.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so
Defenders is.
I'll be
yeah,
spending my
we're going to be
weekend
talking all
doing
about
that.
Defenders near the end. Yeah.
Yeah, I cleared as much of the weekend as I could because that's 8 hours of my life I need to be dedicated.
Yeah.
So Avengers Infinity War. So Nebula will have a new BFF in Avengers Infinity War. Karen Gillian, she recently revealed to Fandango that her character is going to form a bond with the surprising MCU character in Infinity War. And she says, I know who our new BFF is, and I can't tell you. I can't. I promise you it's brilliant and unexpected and just so good. But, picture that with a Scottish accent.
Deadpool.
Yeah, so... But that does say that...
I don't know what I would do if he showed up.
No, if it was like
At this
just
point, I'd be
Deadpool.
like, nope. I mean, as much as I love him, I'd be like, nope. Because that's like, it's like when you're doing an improv scene and somebody's like, oh, you're crazy. And then all of a sudden it's like, sweet, so I can literally do anything.
Yeah, it
awesome.
ruins all
Cool.
stakes 'cause everything
All
is
stakes are
madness.
gone because
Yeah.
now I can do whatever the heck I want.
That's him.
That's him.
He's the Deus Ex
So it's
Machina
like,
of comic
exactly. So
characters. Just
no,
drop him
I
in.
don't want him in this
Let
movie.
madness go.
Jeez.
He's just my response.
Yeah.
Fine, Ben Foster.
But of course it's Ben
Actual
Foster.
Ben Foster as Ben Foster.
If you're saying that, then I say it's Angela Bassett.
Ian as Storm.
There we go.
Ben Foster as Ben Foster, but Angela Bassett as
Oh my
Storm.
Be like, don't you look like Ramon? No, I don't. So, but Nebula's past will also be explored even more in Avengers Infinity War. She went on to tell Florida SuperCon about Nebula's origin in Infinity War. Without giving away any spoilers, we're definitely going to continue the arc for Nebula and find out more about her past. And actually, we're going to find out that it's even worse than we know. So, as if it wasn't
I was about to say,
bad
as if
enough.
it wasn't bad enough having Thanos as your dad.
And like being ripped apart
Yeah,
and
and being
rebuilt
ripped to-
constantly
yeah.
as a challenge.
Oh,
Yeah. It's
That
like
was
even
such great
worse than that.
storytelling.
Dude,
It really was.
People give Guardians such a bad rap, but I really, really love that movie.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why they hate it. I thought it was great.
You mean Guardians 2?
Yeah. I mean, Guardians 1 everybody loves. Like,
Yeah,
it's
everybody
like
loves
saying you don't like
Guardians.
Empire,
Yeah.
you just get ostracized. But, like, Guardians 2, I think was great. And, like, the writing
Oh,
was
it
so
was
clever.
fantastic.
And
I had a lot of
I saw
all
it at
the
the El
feels with
Capitan,
it.
and it was so much fun.
it was my first Marvel movie I've cried in. Like, I've cried happiness. I've cried, like, when Spider-Man showed up in Civil War, I cried happy.
Oh.
But I, like, wept with the dad stuff,
Man,
man.
Oh,
Logan
yeah,
got
dude.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, dad stuff gets to me
Yeah,
pretty.
it was-
Yeah, Logan got to me
But I
too.
didn't
Yeah.
expect
But I mean, I cry at everything, guys. You throw me into a Disney movie or a Pixar film, and I guarantee you I'm crying. Like, I don't, whatever. I'm like, Dory can't find her way home.
It's the opening credits to Finding Dory and Justin's like, I gotta leave
I'm
now.
good. Dude, yeah.
Man, it's Squirrel Girl. She pops in. She's like, I handled Galactus. I can handle Thanos.
That's how they write off
And that's
Galactus. And that's how we get the Fox universe. Fantastic Phase
that's
4.
how you do.
Squirrel Girl
That's how you
brings in
do.
Galactus. Fantastic Four follows.
Well, Squirrel Girl is everything.
Matt Key confirms Squirrel Girl Fantastic Four.
So
Wait, is Matt Key on the? It's talking right
No,
now.
Yeah, you know what?
Matt Key confirms.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. In fact, we're going to say he's going to be confirming a lot of things because I forgot about that. So, but yes, unfortunately, Samuel L. Jackson will not be in Avengers 3, 4, or Black Panther. It's been confirmed. So he said it. He's not happy about it. He has said to Marvel.
It's a very sassy quote.
It was a very
what's the
sassy quote.
What is the
I
quote?
actually don't have the quote down right here.
I'll pull it up.
Actually,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
please.
I wanna
and as soon as
see
you
this.
do, please read it off for us. But yeah, Samuel L. Jackson, he will be co-starring with Brie Larson in the 1990 set Captain Marvel. So, and we know that Captain Marvel will show us Nick Fury before forming the Avengers. And actually, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, I believe the last time that we did see Nick Fury was in Age of Ultron, because he was in hiding during Winter Soldier. I mean, chat room can feel free to correct me on that if that is. But, you know, he helped set off the MCU, like showing an Iron Man, and now I'm just kind of wondering about the future of the character. Did you find the quote?
I found an old quote, but it's just as funny.
Okay,
this
go
from
ahead.
February. Quote, I asked them, so you're doing Black Panther and the only black character in the Marvel Universe is not showing up, Jackson said. And they're like, Nick Fury's not in Wakanda. How can you know the other black superheroes on the planet? How the hell does that work? And they just said, no, you're not in that one. Just angry Samuel Jackson. This was way back in Skull Island days where he was like, guys, come on.
He's like, hey.
I mean, he does make a pretty good point there.
Yeah, that's
Like,
just so funny that was way back
guys, come on.
He's like, hey.
I'm your guy.
It's like, I've been your guy all this time, and then at the end game, I'm just not there
Yeah,
anymore.
you're just not gonna put me in the movie that is an all African American cast. Like, come on. Yeah, it's
Oh, okay, here I have
You got
it.
the new quote?
the new quote.
Yeah. I wasn't in the superhero argument movie, which he said Captain America Civil War. I'm not in Avengers 3 and 4, he complained. They're shooting them now and they haven't called me yet. They wouldn't let me go to Black Pantherville, so it's kind of like, how you going to make a Black Marvel movie and not let Nick Fury show up in it?
I thought a quote from February that he literally has just been upset about this from February to August.
Settling.
Black Pantherville
Black
is now.
Pantherville.
I want to go hang out at Black Pantherville
Man,
on the
I
weekend.
know I do.
That's got to be my favorite place to hang out now.
Margaritaville, Black Pantherville, a lot of places
yeah.
to
It's
visit.
like, there
Oh.
you go. Everybody wants some of that.
And I mean, not only that, but like just Nick Fury as a whole. Like, since he was the guy that was technically, especially at the beginning of the movies, tying everyone together.
Yeah.
It's been kind of interesting that he hasn't been around.
He
And
just
it's like,
hasn't been around.
like, I get it.
He's invited.
He helped connect everybody,
We're
and now
soldiers.
you're just gonna be like, nah, it's good. He did his job. Yeah, right. I know contracts.
Spending
Actors,
so many movies
money. I
and
know.
a lot of money. I also love how they're advertising Hitman's Bodyguard as literally Deadpool and Nick Fury.
Yeah.
teaming up.
I saw it, and it is.
I hear it's amazing.
It's so funny.
Is it?
It
All
is
the trailers-
ridiculously funny. The two of them together, I could not get enough of it.
Could you have ever dreamed a world where a movie, Samuel L. Jackson and Ryan Reynolds makes sense? Like, they
Yes.
both do a lot of movies together.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
like when the Denzel movie with Ryan Reynolds came out, I was like, man, Samuel L. Jackson should do a movie together.
Wait, what?
The one with the Safe House. That was amazing.
Oh,
them
I
two.
missed that one.
So good.
Okay,
So, like,
it's on the short list.
Espionage thrillers with Ryan Reynolds common, and then you need to mix it up who he's with. So
Mm-hmm.
it makes sense, but I never thought it would be like, hey, Deadpool and
And
Nick
Nick
Fury
Fury.
is the pop culture selling point.
Mm-hmm.
That means that's the assumption that people like that all over the world recognize them as those characters and know those characters. That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
'cause
so cool.
It's like Samuel L. Jackson's character is a hitman. And
Right.
he's kind of Deadpool-esque because he's so snarky.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. It really is.
Yeah.
That Ryan Reynolds has to like kind of play
He's the
against
straight
it,
guy.
but then he's also snarky. So there's a lot of snark. And then the director, and his name escapes me right now, but I absolutely love, like, there will be all this action that happens and then a cutaway to a guy cooking a hamburger, and then it's in a restaurant, and he puts the burger on the plate and takes it out into the restaurant. Here comes Ryan Reynolds come through the
Yeah,
door.
good,
So it's
good.
like pressure release and then more action.
Good.
And
I like
plus
it. 90s
you can
comedies
tell he
is good.
loves
Comedy,
Amsterdam.
yeah.
That was
It's-
90s action comedies are my jam.
I mean, it's just like
Buddy
it's the Ferris
con
Bueller
film.
type thing when he's
Yeah.
running at the end and he passes the two girls in the beginning. It's like stop and comes back. Hey, how's it going?
Well, that was what I loved in Spider-Man: Homecoming. Was,
Yeah.
that's a great movie.
Movie, yeah.
And that was a joke about that
About
movie.
that movie
In that movie, of, like,
yeah.
there's just
so many layers.
art.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Avengers 4 has started filming. So yeah, we have a picture of that. The Russo brothers took to Facebook and they shared an image, just one image of a purple glove with 4 fingers up, and it's captioned "Beginning the End." And that summarizes the description of the 4th Avengers film.
I mean, I think it's gonna everything changed after Avengers 4. I don't care what anybody says. Kevin
Everything.
Feige's like, it's not a reboot. I'm like, guy. 10 movies leading up to this. 10 years of movies leading up to this. There's no way it's just gonna be like moving on. Like this ends things.
It's just
It's it's gonna be interesting with the hype and the rise of all these movies. It's like we're so used to, especially when it comes to superhero movies. I mean, for growing up, we're so used to a new guy every 2 or 3 movies.
Right. So to have 10
like
years.
to have some of these actors that have been playing these this goes back to like the days whenever like a studio owned an actor.
Right.
Like it feels very much like that.
Chris Evans right now and Downey Jr. are very much like the
you're
guys.
Owned, yes.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting whenever they get tired of wanting, like as an actor even, to just be like, I'm
played this
tired.
guy.
I've played this guy for a long time.
I bought so many islands.
And it's like, is it like
All
with
the
soaps
islands.
where they just bring in somebody? It's like only one person has changed and nobody talks about it. Like that's all you're there, like watching a soap opera.
Jeremy
and it's
Renner just surrounded by an
just
entirely new
a
cast.
cast,
Just like,
but he pretends like they're all his friends that he's been dealing with the whole
Skrulls,
time.
dog. All these
Yeah.
guys to be Skrulls.
Oh man!
Every
If
single one.
everybody dies and they're all
dude.
scrolls, but
All
they didn't
Skrulls.
realize the other person was a scroll,
Except Hawkeye
so they
and
had
his
to,
family at the farm.
except for Hawkeye
Very
because he
important.
survives. Hawkeye survived. How's the chat room taking everything, Holly?
Matt Key confirms female Thor in Avengers 4, according to Jay Tesla.
Ooh.
Matt Key confirms.
He confirms.
They're
I love
wondering
when I
whose glove is that? It's Hawkeye's. It's a scroll. I really I don't know.
Ooh, I hadn't thought of the Skrull.
Oh,
It is
yeah.
purple and a glove. That would make sense
Yeah.
for a Skrull.
Scrolls are coming
Ooh.
I hadn't thought of
out.
that.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice grab, dude.
I don't think Thanos related because
No.
that's obviously not a
Wrong.
gauntlet.
Yeah,
no,
wrong glove.
and he'd be all gauntleted up.
Yeah, so Ghost Rider, just for Doom's sake. Agents
like
of
that.
Shields coming in. It's Ghost Rider's glove. Quite confirms.
There you go. So let's move on to TV since we are going to be ending with Marvel's Netflix television. So real quick, I actually didn't put this in there, but I'm just remembering it now. When we talked about last week where Disney is going to be pulling their content from Netflix, that's going to start in 2018, but the Marvel TV shows at this point are going to be staying. Well, there is news, and I just thought, fun fact. So Netflix is getting Shonda Rhimes from ABC.
Saw that, yeah.
Yeah. So I was thinking, how about they have She-Hulk and then have Shonda Rhimes do it?
In?
Oh my god.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah.
I mean, look
down
at what
for
she did
some
with
She-Hulk.
Scandal. Like, she would rock some She-Hulk, for instance.
And that brings a huge audience in. Like the fact that like when they were like Shonda Rhimes leaves ABC, like you never see an actor leaving a network be like broadcast news.
Yeah,
Like, but Shonda Rhimes is like
it's
Shonda
like,
Rhimes. so
it's Shondaland.
Yeah.
Shondaland's
Yeah.
Land's going to Netflix.
that's big.
Yeah. Oh, wait, what's that? Oh, Matt Key confirms that
Oh, okay,
Shonda
Shonda
Rhimes
Rhimes.
is doing She-Hulk.
If
If she
So-
doesn't do She-Hulk, can she do Daughters of the Dragon at least?
Yes. I'm trying to think of her action sequences though right now before I say yes. The characters would totally be there. Can someone think of like some action sequences that they on a Shonda Rhimes show? I mean, there's Grey's Anatomy, perfect characterizations, great nuance with layers.
action when I think
Action
of
is
it.
not
But
what I
action.
jump to
Yeah.
whenever I think
Yeah.
of her,
Like
which is
in
why
some
like
vein.
She-Hulk would be great. 'Cause it's
Yeah,
like,
She-Hulk.
You got the lawyer stuff, and that's
Yeah.
like the main.
And then the fourth wall breaking, which I
Yeah.
think she'd be able to handle really
Yeah.
well. I don't know. I'm going to reserve judgment on that one. If she brings somebody on board that's like really great with action, and then the two of them together are doing that,
Lexi Alexander.
oh, that'd be nice.
Lexi
Lexi
directing
can
her?
do some
Yeah.
action. Oh, Punisher Warzone for the win.
I would love I know this would never happen. My dream is Aaron Sorkin scripted, Lexi Alexander directed, starring personally Emily Blunt because I'm still in the Blunt train. She-Hulk. That show would change the game. Can you imagine? Because she's got the physicality, she's got the acting chops, the writing of Sorkin's like pop, pop, pop plus lawyer. You got Lexi Alexander directing the action. Boom. Here's some money.
I'd watch it.
I'd watch
Yeah.
it. I also watched Shonda Rhimes She-Hulk that I never thought
mean,
of until just
yeah.
now.
I would
right?
probably watch almost any She-Hulk.
That's true.
Yes,
honestly,
right?
let's
As
be.
long as we
I
got
mean,
She-Hulk.
as long
Almost-
as long as Marvel
almost
Television, and Netflix bounce back from the one show that we're
About to dive into.
About
Yeah.
to dive into.
So,
Then yes, they will always have my money.
yeah,
So,
there's only one showrunner I can think of off the top of my head that I would want to do She-Hulk. So for a TV, for Inhumans, Marvel's Inhumans, they're revealing details about an original character It's played by Louise Ellen Woglum. While at SDCC, Woglum spoke more about her character's role in the show. And it's basically that she's the eyes and ears for the audience. So she's going to be our outlet into the world that is Inhumans. The audience will learn about the world, and they'll be discovering it simultaneously with everyone else. And then showrunner Scott Buck also revealed that Louise will serve as a unique kind of human character because she'll have the knowledge of the otherworldly events of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So she'll be aware of everything that's happened in the world. All of the characters are aware of what's happened in the Marvel Universe, and she's aware that there are people out there who possess superpowers, so she'll be a little bit more ready to be among them, Buck explained.
So she's a watcher?
Well, you know, the show's not
She's
really...
a Watu without the Watu.
It's not that grounded. So we need that look into it, because otherwise we wouldn't understand how everyone was just normal.
I don't know. That trailer just made me so upset.
You've missed weeks of us being upset.
I'm sure.
And
I mean,
so upset with us for being upset.
I know that you guys I know our tastes are very similar. So I'm not, you know, whenever I say things like this, it's not a shock to you.
Surprise! Didn't like that hair.
Yeah, it's just, you know, and I thought they were doing I got off the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. train. I was trying to watch that for a while, and I watched a couple seasons, and then I think I lost Hulu. And so once I lost it, I was like, oh, crap, I'm behind.
It's not your fault.
But I liked kind of where they were going with this idea. Like, that storyline was interesting to me, and I was looking forward to a movie.
That's different, yeah.
But yeah, it just doesn't look... like they put a lot of time into it.
Yeah, well, that will be coming out of September 1st in IMAX.
All right.
So, you know, we'll have that to look forward to.
Yeah.
So the Gifted cast Elena Satine as Dreamer. So we have that Elena Satine, you know her from Twin Peaks and Revenge, and she's been cast as Dreamer, and that's a mutant with the power to add or take away people's memories. So that's actually pretty fierce to have that. Man, especially and I know that's in the Gifted, the same Gifted that gives us Blink, the same one that we have these new Sentinels that you know, are as big as giant electronic spiders. Dude, I keep on thinking of Minority Report whenever I see that.
This sounds great. Where is this being? Because this is the first I've heard about it.
Right.
Oh, you haven't heard of the Fox show?
No.
They're doing a full-on X-Men show, dude.
Yeah, they have a couple of trailers now.
I was at first not sold because they are not using many of the core X-Men. They're using like new characters with a mix.
But I'm kind of okay with that.
The other characters are Blink and who was the
I know.
I always call
Thunderbird.
Warpath.
Is it Warpath or Thunderbird?
I thought it was Thunderbird, and it ended up being Warpath. It's one of those two.
Okay. I'm gonna double check on that.
Okay, please do.
So they're using like lesser known X-Men teamed up with new X-Men characters, and at first I was very off it, but the newest trailer sold me. The newest trailer's so rad.
All right.
And then like this news is awesome, and Matt Nix is an incredible showrunner, so I am fully on for the Gifted.
Yeah, and he did reveal that the character will enter the fold in the show's second episode. So in the second episode, that will be her live-action debut of Dreamer. And according to Nix, Dreamer brings a unique set of powers into the fold of the Gifted. One of the things about her character, Nix explained, is that it's a really sexy power that isn't a gigantic power. We aren't blowing up a building with her. It doesn't involve a 6-week CG build. Great.
He is Thunderbird.
Thunderbird. Thank you.
John Proudstar.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, yeah, we have a couple of new pilot photos that have been released. One of them includes Thunderbird, but you know, we have Blink, and also Polaris.
Oh, yeah, Polaris.
Isn't it great? It looks great. We have Eclipse, and then the family. This is a family, the Struckers, that are actually going to be. It's a family of characters that they made for the Gifted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where it's basically the dad of the family. I think his name's not William Strucker, is it? Because I'm just thinking Stryker now. Yeah. The dad of the family is he's in an authority position, and he's anti-mutant. Turns out his kids are mutants. So then it's like, oh wait, let's rethink this mutant issue, and then they're on the run, and that's the Struckers. So, and then we also have a picture of Thunderbird there too. So, but it's revealed that he revealed during the Fox presentation at the TCA Summer Press Tour that his comic inspiration behind the series, he looked into a lot of the more obscure runs. that didn't deal with the central superhero mythology. He loves District X,
Such a good
District
book.
10.
Have you read
Yeah.
District X?
Was it what?
Yeah,
I have not.
It's so good. It's
that
like
one?
it's like End of Watch with Bishop.
Really?
It's like a super gritty cop drama with Bishop as the lead. It's a great book.
Okay, I'm gonna have to add that one.
Check it out.
All right, District X, which is just about a district in New York. It's where the mutants are. You're following around Bishop, who's a cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine if like an area like Hell's Kitchen, like a certain area of New York, and you're responsible for that jurisdiction, and it's super mutant heavy.
Oh,
so it's that,
sweet.
but like, and it was actually around the same time as District 9. It might have been just before it. So it's a really cool flavor.
Yeah, well, God knows I love
Nice.
District 9. But the show is not a procedural at all. It was seeing mutants in society, dealing with crime, drugs, the relationships with each other. We didn't take any characters from it. It is one of my favorites. So, you know, always good to know that showrunners are all about reading comics and loving the comics and utilizing the characters, or at least the element of the characters.
Yeah, and I think it's honestly, I think it's a good move whenever you've had, you know, you've had some of the problems you've had with trying to do the franchises. Whenever you bring in these, you know, lesser known characters, you can kind of play with them a little more because people are less attached to them. So it's not as likely to offend as many people whenever you're like, oh, let's tweak this a little bit.
I do see the merits both sides now that I've
Yeah.
seen what direction they're taking, and I'm now excited.
Cool.
So with Punisher, so Jon Bernthal, I am always going to pronounce his name wrong.
The Bernthal Bears.
Bernthal Bears. The Bernthal-Stein Bears.
I missed the Berenstein other timeline now.
Yeah. Oh. Speaking with E.T., Jon Bernthal responded to Iron Fist's reception possibly hindering The Punisher. For me, with all due respect, it's not about reviewers, Bernthal said. I promised them I'd do my best to try to get this right, and I hope we did. One thing I can say is we fought hard.
That's a really good impression. You should totally go as that for Halloween this
Yeah,
year.
that? Yeah.
I love
good.
that Jon Bernthal, like in quotes, sounds like he's at war. I love that the man is like,
Yeah.
I dealt with it, I did it. I don't know if they're gonna like it, but it's done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you're talking about the Punisher, how else can
That's
you
the only way
sound?
to go. It's only
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think anybody is seriously going to judge these other shows based on.
yeah, it's not.
I don't
Iron
think
Fist.
this.
I think especially this
not
after we
fair.
saw what happened in
Yeah.
Daredevil.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's fine. I'm not worried about it. I think it's gonna be great.
Punisher all.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's gonna be awesome. So. I don't know where. I don't even know who is feeding him information
Yeah.
that makes him think that.
The last
hey
Netflix
guys,
show,
nobody liked that show. It's like, dude, relax. Nobody in their right
Nobody
mind
parallels
goes
you.
Iron Fist, Punisher.
No.
No.
And if anything, Defenders is going to be a huge palate cleanser
Yeah.
for everything, so it's going to be
hope so.
fine. So Ben Barnes, he plays Billy Russo, also known as Jigsaw, in the upcoming series. He spoke to The Man magazine. I was really pleased at the grounded, tough approach to the material. Our show is about men suffering tragedy and trauma. It's about a very real topic set in a world of superheroes. But no character in our show has superpowers, and that makes it feel unique in this universe.
It's the first time I've heard there's no superpowers. I mean, I
Yeah.
assumed, but it's the first confirmation of it. That's
Yeah,
cool. That they're
so-
keeping it all
Got
on the level.
superpowers.
Yeah, which means no Bullseye.
There you go.
My theory is that they might introduce Bullseye so we could tie into Daredevil season 3.
Oh.
That's what I was thinking.
I like that theory.
It'd be cool to have
That's
like
actually a pretty
little,
sweet theory.
Like have Bullseye just be involved, mention him, have like a little,
Mm-hmm.
and then Daredevil have it already just ready to dive in that way. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I wanted.
Oh, I like that. So with Jessica Jones, and this is why I'm wearing this shirt today. It's my Doctor Who, the 10th Doctor. So David Tennant's back for Jessica Jones season 2. He was spotted on set
He's
of season
so
2.
good.
Entertainment Weekly released a photo featuring both Kilgrave and Jessica Jones. So
Demon on her shoulder, I'm telling
oh
you.
my goodness. Well, because this isn't a spoiler at this
Spoiler
point,
alert to
right?
6 months ago.
Spoiler was 6 months ago. Yeah. So let's say that he doesn't.
His health is in
His
decline.
health is in severe decline with Jessica Jones. So there wasn't any reason to see this particular character again. But now we are.
And it's not like
seeing
he's just
him
visiting.
again.
That man is wearing purple.
No, he's wearing purple.
Yeah.
The hair is coiffed.
I think he's every time
he's
he has
purple
a,
man.
That man can
He's
do
Purple
no
Man.
wrong.
I think when he has she has a
Ooh.
PTSD flashback, he pops up. That's my theory. So whenever
I
she's
like that.
she's going through trauma,
Yeah, I like
he's the
that.
voice in her head that she can't hang.
Yeah, because remember back when she would like repeat the street names of her childhood home to herself?
Yeah.
What if he's even poisoned that
That's what I'm
memory
thinking.
for her?
Because flashback is easier,
and
but
then
I think
his face comes up.
Yeah.
Oh. So in any case, we get David Tennant back.
I love David Tennant.
Which actually brings us to the Defenders. So we have the final Defenders trailer for you. You've probably already seen it, but if not, you're going to watch it with us, and we're going to talk over it so that we can watch it along with you. So Aunt Anthony, can you roll that trailer for us?
Green suit,
Are you
yes.
still hungry? Takes a lot of energy to summon my chi.
And okay, he's kind of funny there.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
And opening Defenders with him is bold. I respect it.
Yes.
I love the green suit he's in. This hallway.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, they know how much we love hallway fight
I
scenes.
love hallway
We
so
love
much.
Hallway. They started with the Daredevil, and don't you ever change.
The action looks good. I love the coloring in this room.
Yeah.
Like blues.
I love that
greens,
Stick
reds.
just, he popped the lock on the door and showed up.
They haven't lost everything.
Sigourney Weaver as Mephisto Azul.
Yes. There can only be Zool.
I love that weird shimmy outfit
Yeah,
she's
right.
got on.
Yeah.
Are you the gatekeeper?
But the lighting here, like, it's just so unique.
Let's go do something crazy.
And I love that it looks like they were obviously just all having their food, chilling out. Stick comes in, and then the hand just pop up.
Yeah.
And then this interplay.
Yeah.
Heroes
Yes.
for hire all the way.
Power
Like,
Man and Iron
yes,
Fist.
that was cool.
Yes.
I think this is going to be a palate cleanser. I think everybody's going to be very
Yeah.
happy.
Here. I promise you it's temporary.
Not if I can help it.
Oh, yeah.
That
Dude.
shot,
The
too, man.
sword.
I think they're focusing on Iron Fist in this trailer to be like, guys, we know we're sorry. We're so sorry.
That
like-
was
Because think
our
of it,
we
bad.
understand.
That
There were
was
6
totally our
action
bad.
shots.
Yeah.
There were 6
With
action
Iron
shots of him, and there was like 2 of each of everybody else.
Yeah. And they were good action
and
shots.
every one of his was extra cool to be like, we
Yeah.
let him fight. We taught him to fight, and
Yeah.
please, we're sorry.
Be like,
Yeah.
hey, he's gonna fight, and he's funny,
I
and
think
it's like,
season 2 is going to be just fine.
and Luke Cage really likes him.
Yeah, like,
Dude,
But
and
like
the
a
thing, I mean,
friend,
here's the
it's
thing.
fair.
Like,
Friends.
once like Luke Cage vouches for you, then we all
Then it's
go.
like, yeah.
All right, sorry. That's my bad.
welcome.
That's
I'm
my
telling
bad.
you, I love the bromance between the two of them. That's
dude,
what kept
it's
you coming
so
back with the
good.
comics.
Yeah.
It's like you had
Yeah.
the two of them, and then you had then
I
you
just
understood
love
why
him
Misty
standing
Knight was in love
behind
with
him while he's
Yeah.
getting shot. Like it's like, oh, bullets hurt. I'm just gonna stay back here for a minute. Are you done? Here, let me punch a
Charging up.
sword.
Okay, I got this. Like, that's what I mean. It's like they did that trailer well. That was a good
Yeah,
trailer.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to this, and this weekend will be fun, and I hope it.
I can't believe it snuck up on us, man. It's
I
this
know,
weekend.
it's right
I was
here.
Like, I usually have a couple weeks out where I'm like, okay, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh god, it's now.
It's here. Like, it's this Friday. That's happening.
And next week's me and Matt's last show before Burning Man, so we have to watch it all
Ooh.
because we're gonna be gone for 2
Yeah,
weeks.
and then next week I'm gonna have y'all do a birthday shout out for me because my birthday's on the 27th.
oh
So,
yeah,
yeah, so I'm expecting fireworks,
And
maybe
it's
a little dance
It's a
number.
sexy birthday shout out, might I add.
Yeah, sexy musical birthday shout out
a
is
lot of
what's gonna
stakes
happen.
here, guys. A lot of stakes. But yeah, so Matt and I won't be here. Not next week, but the following for 2 weeks, just so you guys.
Yeah,
Don't
because
forget
I'll be
Marquee.
doing Burning Man stuff, but it will be me and a lot of very fun guests that we have lined up, and we will tell you more about those guests as the week continues. But yes, for Defenders, so speaking with Playboy, showrunner Marco Ramirez shared details on bringing each Defender together in a cohesive unit with an important outcome. There were charts, said Ramirez. I mean, I was just popping pills, Claire Danes style, looking at the walls going, this doesn't make sense. It was seriously color-coded like, this is where Luke ended. This is where Claire was. It was crazy town. I think ultimately the goal is that in many years, if you want to sit down and watch the whole thing, chronologically you can. None of us wanted to do the procedural version where they'll go back into their own shows completely unchanged, said Ramirez. The events of Defenders will affect each of them. That's what I think
that's
Ramirez
Ramirez?
sounds
Oh, yeah.
like. That's my Ramirez.
You have so many voices in your head.
Totally normal. A totally normal amount of voices.
Yeah,
in your head.
it's very,
Totally normal.
very, very
Standard
normal.
amount of voices.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're gonna do a show where you have all work, you have to do some things that are gonna affect the shows that come afterwards. That makes sense. And I think I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be good times.
Yeah, I like it of the sense that it's everybody is playing with these toys and then has these storyline for these toys and then hand them off to other people. But it's like, hey, the toy's been changed, but for the better.
Yeah. I also love the fact that I feel like, and I don't know, like how the Marvel movies were the first time that movies had all these big names coming together and sharing screen time. Like, I don't know of a show that's been like this where it's like we have our own individual actors who have their own shows and they're all coming together
Yeah, it's
to
like-
form a show.
I think it's fairly like Oceans have done it and a few things have done it, but like this level is unheard of.
Yeah.
So we do have Daughters of the Dragon. They meet in Marvel's The Defenders. So we have a clip. So we're gonna play that clip real quick.
I'm told my uniforms confiscated something unusual from you. It's a katana. It was passed down to me. Weird. I can defend myself. You came in here pretty bloody. Are you sure about that? Yeah, yeah. Yes.
It's your girls. It's your girls.
That's
I
good.
love that.
That's
I
nice.
just you came in with something pretty weird. No. It's my family
it's a
sword.
katana.
No, that's weird. That's weird.
Yeah.
No one walks around with that.
Nobody's walking around with swords. Sorry. That's weird.
It's like, and you were beat up. Do you want to talk about this? Do we need to have a conversation? I love that little interaction. So that was great. So, and then one more clip. Foggy gets Luke Cage out of jail in this new Defenders clip. So go ahead and play it.
One last thing. The law firm of Hogarth, Chow and Benowitz is at your disposal.
Yes, they are.
In case you need help starting over.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Friday.
Be there. Be there. Be there.
August 18th. So that brings us into our Defenders discussion, like a quick little breakdown. On Wednesday, Screen Junkies will release this epic level breakdown that Coy and I did.
How they're going to edit that?
With Hal Rudnick. I don't know. It was 2 hours of us
deep
talking.
Defenders knowledge.
Yeah, it was where we broke down each one of the Defenders, including, actually, Coy did season 1 and season 2 of Daredevil, so that wasn't just one lump thing. And then along that with characters, must-watch eps, who knows? I think at least a solid half hour that they would probably with that. But we're going to break that down for you even smaller here for our show. So just like a quick feeling of each series, non-spoilery, just the feeling of what the series is, kind of where they leave off, not too specific though, but we will give you at least one episode recommendation for each one of the shows. So if you can't watch anything else, then watch this one ep. Yes, watch these 5. So it goes from 52 hours to 5 hours.
Wait, 3 times 5, isn't it?
Was it what?
Isn't it? Yeah.
Well,
it's 62
oh wait,
hours.
did I do? Is it 62?
Isn't it?
1, 2.
13
Oh, I think
times... Wait, it's 13.
What's the math?
It's 13 times 5. So it's 65 hours.
Oh, I was doing 13 times 4 because I was thinking 4 shows.
So 65
So
hours.
65.
We have 2 Daredevils.
Yeah.
We saved you 60 hours.
65
I was like, somewhere math is.
We,
Yeah, 60
yeah,
hours
thank you.
and 5.
Thank you. We
was like,
saved you
I didn't know what
60
you guys were
hours with
adding
this
up.
one
I was
thing.
like,
Where's your math?
there we go.
Yeah. So starting off with Defenders. I'm sorry, Daredevil. Just general quick feeling for the series so people know. Like,
2. Hallway fight. I think if you're only going to watch one, you dive into the hallway fight, you get a sense of like how, because that's the brutality of Daredevil. It's also like he gets worn down, he has to like, you introduce all the characters, you've met them, so you don't have to go through like everybody, this is Karen Page, but you get to meet Karen Page already Karen Paging. So I think episode 2 with the hallway fight.
Yeah, and then plus you understand about hallway
I think
fights.
the episode with Stick. Like
7 or whatever, his
first shows
backstory?
up.
Oh,
yeah,
his first
the
episode?
the backstory when
Oh,
he
the backstory
explains.
is 7,
Yeah,
I think.
that one for me because I just thought it was a really good like origin. Like it
Any more
kind of
hallway
lets
in
you
that
know.
episode?
I know there's not enough hallway, but I think that's the one for
All
me.
right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially for Defenders, that makes sense.
Well, for me, the hallway scene.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Sorry, Justin,
So
we're
there's
lost
just
hallway.
like,
I'm not going to disagree with you.
No,
I
this
want you to watch
this
all
isn't
of
a
them.
competition.
Like I'm not saying
isn't a competition, so.
you
Matt
shouldn't
Key
watch one
confirms
episode.
Justin hates hallways.
Yeah. Oh my God, Matt just said that.
Just is the
yeah, he
worst.
said Justin Baker hates hallways.
Just so you guys know, it's a weird thing.
It's
Okay,
weird.
my parents were killed by a hallway. I don't want to talk about it.
Was it a short hallway or was it like?
I don't want to talk about it. I said. I said good day, sir.
Did it end in an elevator?
I said good day.
Okay. So that's but general feel for Daredevil. Matt Murdock is played by Charlie Cox, and he has they actually do a really good job with giving him his supernatural powers because he is a blind man, he's a lawyer, he's struggling with just life in general, but then he's also fighting on the streets and taking care of his community. And then you have Foggy, you have Karen Page, and so you have a lawyer show meets epic badassery.
Yeah.
pretty
And
great.
my favorite thing, honestly, about Daredevil was the fact that I cared about Kingpin.
Yeah, the fact that you had 2
Like,
protagonists.
Yeah.
like
Vincent
the art
D'Onofrio.
episode
Yeah, dude.
That episode for me.
Oh,
Like, if I was
nice.
going to say a Kingpin show, I would say the art episode, because that one.
Well, they both had the
gallery.
same goal, and that was beautiful. Like, if you
Yeah.
looked at it from an acting standpoint, they both wanted to protect their city.
So
it
good,
was
because
two
I never,
protagonists.
there's even, reading comic books, there's never been a time I was like, oh, Kingpin's not a, like, I've never felt for Kingpin.
But he's
ever.
always just a regular guy.
Yeah.
And you're like, how does he just walk around? Oh, now I get it, because this is the show
Yeah,
explaining how Kingpin
this is
works.
how Kingpin works.
Yeah,
So watch all of Daredevil.
Watch it all. Watch it
just watch
all.
all of
Just
Daredevil.
watch all of it.
Tuesday, quit your job.
You've
Tell your
got plenty
family
of
you'll
time
see
to
them
catch up
later
like,
on.
Yeah, just watch the next
Yes,
65 hours straight.
Or watch the episodes that we just recommended. So, there you go. So moving just chronologically, so Jessica Jones. So for Jessica Jones, I recommend episode 8, also known as WWJD. What would Jessica do? In this, you find out all of this backstory of Kilgrave, who is the major villain for Jessica Jones. You find out the in and outs
So
of,
creepy.
why he is the way that he is. It's so chilling, this character, because it's fantastic. David Tennant does an amazing job. All of this happens in Jessica Jones' childhood home, and then there's a story for why they're even there. And then there's a possible redemptive arc, and I'm not going to tell you whether or not that comes to fruition. So for me, episode 8 with Jessica Jones.
I'll jump on that one.
Yeah,
because
yeah. I
that,
love that
that
episode.
episode. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm still getting shivers thinking about David
Chills.
Tennant.
It's
Like, he's
so well done.
Good.
So well done. So with Jessica Jones, well, I don't have to explain all of the things.
Yeah.
You want it?
I feel like Jessica Jones is a show about stress. I feel like Jessica Jones is coping with stress, coping with like your past, coping with dealing with PTSD, dealing with mental anguish, dealing with people that are abusing you either mentally, physically, or emotionally, and it handles very, very strong themes in a way that's a superhero show. The show could have been a Lifetime movie, but it wasn't. Like, it deals with very, very real things. And
Well, also not wanting your powers.
yeah,
Yeah.
and dealing with
Like,
responsibility.
and dealing
like,
with that, like not
Yeah.
wanting to be a hero at all, like just being like
Being
Reluctant.
okay with not being family friendly.
yeah.
I like that. Like, of the Marvel characters,
Mm-hmm.
Jessica Jones she's coarse, she's very real. If you're talking grounded and gritty, then you're talking Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
And then also, it's a PI show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a private eye. So Jessica Jones. So Daredevil season 2.
I would recommend the episode where the Punisher jailbreak, episode 7 Minutes in Heaven. So that would be episode 9. It gives you more of where Daredevil stands. It gives you Kingpin where he's at now in prison. It gives you Punisher in a hallway, and it gives you kind of the sense of like where the world lands, like where they are. Because right before Defenders, you're gonna need to understand how far along the Hand is, how far along Kingpin is, all those things, and either the finale, because that's literally the wrap up where you meet like the scope of the Hand, or that one. What do you think?
You know what? I'll give you this hallway one.
Give you that
It's
hallway.
a good hallway. It was a good fight. It's all good stuff.
And it shows like the Karen and him relationship.
Yeah.
It shows Foggy and Matt dealing with the courtroom stuff. It really is like a beautiful.
Yeah, and there's a lot of turmoil in that season with the dynamics of the group.
And if you only have time for one, then you need to understand where the dynamics lie before Defenders. So
Yeah.
I'd say that
All
one.
right, I'm gonna jump on that then. If
Cool.
it's like if you can only do one, but yeah, I loved how you kind of wrapped up where it is with that. With Jessica Jones, she goes through all this. Oh, she goes through hell and high water. It's just she goes through everything.
That last episode's so good.
And then coming out, the last episode, Smile. If you can only see 2 episodes of Jessica Jones, see 8 and see 13.
I think if you can see 2 of any, do an episode we recommend in 13. Like
Yes.
watch the last.
watch
Yes,
the last
do the
episode of every
recommendation,
single one because you need to know
and then the
what's
finale.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
because
they do a
they're-
really good job of wrapping things
Yeah,
up.
I think
Yeah,
that's fair.
yeah,
Okay.
that's good. So,
So if
our
you've got
recommendation
10
and then
hours
finale
instead of 5
everything.
hours.
I love how this is just we're adding more
If you've got
episodes. on.
65
Look,
hours.
if you've got 47 hours, I want to watch all of these episodes and part of this episode and then part of that episode.
and probably
there you
not
go.
much of this. Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I can recommend a series to not watch and just put more time into the other ones. But that's just me.
Yeah. But with Jessica Jones, there's a lot of, Luke Cage is involved with Jessica Jones. This isn't a spoiler thing. You already kind of know this. And there's a lot of underlying themes and different characters that come in that Jessica Jones is well worth the watch if to just continue those characters on. So, yeah. So we just did Daredevil season 2. Luke Cage.
Bow, 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 bow.
All right. Yeah.
First, look up Jadena. and then watch
and
this
hail,
episode.
Hail to the chief.
Just download buy the Janena album. By download, I mean purchase, because he is a saint.
The music in Luke Cage, just listen to that. You don't have to watch anything. Just listen to the entire soundtrack of Luke Cage, and you'll get what Luke Cage is.
And watch Mike Coulter riding a motorcycle.
Just that's it.
Just
that's
listen
enough for
and
me.
watch Mike Coulter and know.
So
So
there you go.
good.
Yeah, it's so incredible.
I mean, yeah, I think that what is it? The first episode where he rips the car door off and he goes up to the gang house.
Yeah, he rips a couple of doors. Like I remember he smashed a cop car in one part, and it was like
When he
it
uses
was
the
like
shield and he crushed
yeah,
that dude.
yeah.
Yeah, like that
a
to me is
beast.
like the whole barbershop, like that open, like just the beginning for me kind of sells what the entire season is about. So I think they did a really good job with the opening for me with Luke Cage. I think that first episode was enough for me to go, oh, I get what this guy's about. I get what his town is about and what he's trying to do. And you're gonna get into the villains and all that stuff, and that's great. But at the end, like, Luke Cage is about his town and about his people, and like that's all he really wants to do.
Yeah, I like that because actually in the first episode you get introduced to not only like Luke Cage, you see where he exists in this world. Like he's a he's a sweeper at Pop's barbershop. He washes dishes at Harlem Paradise.
Because he also does not. That's why him and Jessica Jones are so great, because he doesn't want to be a hero either.
He doesn't want to be a hero. He doesn't even want people to pay attention to him, but he also can't let evil happen. He has to do something about it. So like with Luke Cage, it's kind of like homage to blaxploitation with urban drama, and then it's got beautiful music scores, and Harlem itself is an actual another character. And
so great.
And Luke Cage. So, but for me, I'm going to recommend episode 7, which is called Manifest. And in that episode, you find a lot of the motivations and the childhood motivations for the two, I'm going to call them the main villains, which is Mariah Dillard, played by Alfre Woodard, and Mahershala Ali, who plays Cornell Cottonmouth Stokes. And it's great. It's really good. You understand their ambitions. You understand why they did what they're doing, and then it also has a very chilling ending to that one. So I really manifest episode 7 for me.
And then Iron Fist. I would say the RZA episode, because RZA directed it, and it's amazing. It feels the most like the comics. There's a lot of comic arcs where he has to prove his worth by fighting multiple people, where he has to go through tournament type things. This episode has a tournament feel. It feels like a Street Fighter game. It feels like you're fighting mini bosses leading up to a boss, and it's RZA, so it's got this awesome funk hip hop flavor to it.
It does, and
that's what Iron Fist is about. So if you want to get just a taste of Iron Fist and then watch the Defenders, I would say Immortal Emerges from Cave is the way to go.
I mean, if you have to watch some of Iron Fist, that would be the episode.
I think watching one before going into Defenders makes sense.
Sure, I'll go with that.
All right, good. All right.
I do like RZA, so I mean, I'm not gonna,
For the sake of RZA.
For the sake of RZA, you should watch that episode just so that RZA gets more play.
Everyone just goes and watches that one. Like suddenly,
like
Iron Fist spikes just episode 6.
And they're like, "Whoa, well, what does this mean?"
Get RZA.
What's the thing about this episode that's different than every other episode? Oh, I don't know, RZA.
Maybe nothing to mess with,
right?
Yeah, and it's particularly good because I feel like it delves into comic book source a bit more, because it goes with because there's the Immortal Iron Fist and then there's Living Weapon. I'm not a huge fan of Living Weapon. I just feel like it's a little bit too grim for what I feel Iron Fist is, but remember, I come from Power Man and Iron Fist, so Immortal Weapon deals with things like Friday Night Spiders, Scythe. It's all these fun characters, and you feel that in this particular episode. If you have an extra 10 minutes after you've watched your 5 or 10 hours of our recommendations, then see the last 10 minutes of episode 8. Is it episode 8 or episode 10? Which one has Zhao Xing in it?
Oh, at the fight.
I believe it's episode 8. I'm gonna say it's episode 8. And the last 10 minutes of it, there is a drunken master fight between Zhao Xing and Iron Fist.
8 was Louis Tan. So
that's great when he comes up on him at the door.
Louis Tan.
Yeah, I did enjoy that fight.
If you have an extra 10 minutes.
That fight was fun.
Watch that. So, all right. So that's basically our recommendations and everything for that. I mean, unless anybody wants to say what they hope for with the Defenders series. I mean, we're seeing this on Friday. Everything's dropping at one time. That's 8 hours of episodes.
I mean, that trailer makes me happy. Like, if I see, 13 hours of that, I'll be happy.
It's only 8, so.
Oh, it's only 8?
It's only 8.
Unless you watch it twice.
Yeah.
no.
Unless you watch it twice,
Then it's 16.
Then
It's
it's
a choice.
16.
That's 16.
That's
Yeah.
better than 13 though.
It is more than 13. I would watch.
I love our math today. Our
Yeah.
math is awesome.
I didn't realize there was only 8
Times
episodes.
5.
Maybe we're done.
What happened?
We did too much math. We broke it.
Hello, Anthony. Anthony. Manthony.
Chat room, are we still live?
Can we have no sound or mics?
Hey.
Hi.
there we go.
How long was that muted?
That was interesting.
If
That
you,
just happened.
No. Okay, it just happened.
if
We're
you
good.
ever wondered what it looks like to see 3 hosts panic without sound,
Yeah.
now
all,
you'll
of,
know.
all of a sudden, we couldn't hear ourselves, and we were like, "Oh no!"
We
Amazing.
can't hear ourselves. How come
No
other
one
people can
can.
hear us?
I know. I guess for the Defender series, I'm going to say what my huge hope is. I hope that Sigourney Weaver's character. Did I just move out again?
No, you're good.
Okay, I hope that. It's just my hearing.
Sigourney
I hope
Weaver.
that Sigourney Weaver's character, Alexandra, I hope that she is the big bad in both halves of it. I hope that she is like in her human form for the first half, and then she turns into Mephisto for the second, and then I want them to break the formula of 2 baddies and have it. It's still
her
2
be 2
baddies.
baddies.
She's 2 baddies.
I like that idea.
So Sigourney Weaver, she can do it.
Dude,
So
I
my
love
big
Sigourney
goal-
Weaver.
Yeah.
If I had a dream goal, besides Deadpool being in it, of course, would be that they introduce either Blade or Moon Knight and start Midnight Suns,
Ooh.
because we've come to a culmination at this point, right?
Right.
So where you go off from there is introducing a new show. We know Punisher's happening, but what better place to have a surprise Moon Knight or Blade in this?
I would love Moon Knight.
That's the dream.
Yeah.
I would
it's
love
unlikely,
Moon Knight would be great.
But
I'd
if
be
Like,
okay
I
with
mean,
it.
we've had
I'd be okay
Blade.
with both.
Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, and I
We
still
had-
love Blade.
We had Blade forever ago.
I know. It's been a minute. We could bring him back.
And it helped Blade.
He was the
Blade
first
is the
comic book
reason
movie.
we are where we
Yeah,
have
there's a reason
Deadpool.
we have
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
So-
No, and Wesley, power to you.
Dude, Blade 1, Blade 2, Blade 3,
Yeah.
all great. I
All
don't care what
great.
he says. Blade 3 is still real watchable, you guys.
Daywalkers forever.
Yes.
But
That iPod commercial
but I
is
would love.
fantastic.
I love Moon Knight. I mean, that's another, and you could have another fun mental.
That's my
health
dream, right?
Yeah.
Like,
show
so
with
that's
that one.
if we're saying dream goals from Defenders Moon Knight somehow.
Dude, you mentioned Sigourney Weaver, and it always makes me think of that Jeff Foxworthy joke where he's like, I was watching this movie, and I talked to my wife about how much I loved, how hot Sigourney Weaver was, and then she's like, and I was having meatloaf later that night. I was like, honey, the meatloaf's a little dry, and she's like, well, why don't you have Sigourney Weaver make you a meatloaf?
And that joke is still relevant today.
Right.
Because Sigourney
There you
Weaver.
go. Because Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, oh, dude, yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Okay, so that brings us to Mary Marvellites. Some quick shout outs. Of course, Stephanie M. Gendro at Steph Amthis.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah, there you go.
Hi, Mom.
T. Rich at Nomad Rich. Teresa Luz at Teresa Fortes Luz. Jacques Lac Jacques at Darren Jacques. Charles Lee at GoofyFan_Chuck. JJ Lang at JJ Lang Tweeted. Tao Din at TaoDin19. Entre Humane at Entre Humane. AJ Fairnot at CadBay1996, Jocelyn at Bad Wolf Bay 10, and Chris Kawa at Chris Kawa. And then special shout out to Iron Man Logan, brother of Oscar, who we shared his picture last week. You're welcome, Oscar, for us showing you your picture. They are the godsons of Debs Cap Evans at Marvel Padawan. So, and then also Joseph Hall at A Blended Soul 1. I just heard my birthday shout out on Marvel Movie News. Thank you. I love it. It was a sexy shout out that we sent out to him yesterday. So, so one question. Ashley Houchins, who is a male, thank you. If Chris Hemsworth re-ups with Marvel after Avengers 4, could we see another Thor film using, the Siege arc? With rights though, the Siege arc, that was the one where Doctor Doom, and it was like the whole thing with the Cabal, right? It has Doctor Doom and it has Osborn in it. I believe it has Norman Osborn and Doctor Doom in it, and they hold Asgard siege. Yeah, just for the fact that it's got Doctor Doom and Osborn, and that's like, isn't Osborn Sony?
Yeah.
And Doctor Doom is
Fox.
Is Fox.
So that's
and
already...
it's already kind of dead in the water there.
Friends with each other.
Yeah, that won't
They
work
don't
out.
like each
Yeah,
other.
it's actually really heavy with Doctor Doom and Osborn. So, yeah, I don't think that one might happen. So, and then our other shout out we have from Facebook. I gave it to you, Coy. It was a little.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I also have a birthday shout out from the live chat.
Yay.
Mr. Jason Simpson. I know it's your 45th birthday, and I just hope that
Ooh,
you
keeping it
live
young.
just as long as the show and your namesake goes on. And
Oh,
that
please.
it's just as lively, animated, and adult-oriented as that television program.
Oh, adult.
Happy birthday, Jason Simpson.
Happy birthday, Jason.
And
The saxophone.
the sax was fully jarred.
There it
I was
is.
like, yeah.
Hold on. Right there. I'm like, I see it, and you won't get
I
to
was
it.
just flipping. Facebook. We have an awesome one from Jamie Massey that says, "Hey team, I know you do shoutouts via Twitter, etc., but this is going to be a little longer. My partner and I are getting married on September 8th this year. Took a while, but I finally broke her down and got her to go see Spider-Man Homecoming. Used some of the descriptions from the podcast to entice her. I listened through Podcast Addict. Thanks, Podcast Addict. She walked out absolutely loving it, to the point that I think I can hook her into the MCU a bit more. My next task is to get her to watch Civil War, then AntMan. She doesn't always love action movies, but these movies have heart, and I think she's seeing that. Just wanted to reach out for a shout before the wedding and let you know I've been a loyal listener for about 2 years now. Y'all have been doing amazing work. I really find myself getting more and more hooked with Marvel every week. We'll be donating platelets this week and watching Defenders." That is so cool.
Very cool.
That's great.
True love, Spider-Man, Defenders, platelets. You're doing good things.
I mean, you should go. I mean, Deadpool is the most romantic of all
know, right?
movies.
Yeah.
So I think if you're gonna
like
watch
it was a
one,
Valentine's Day
it's a
release.
Valentine's
It's
movie.
literally about love.
It's a
and
love
that's the way
It's
to
a
go.
love story.
It is.
I don't know if
So-
you saw that.
And if you
Yeah.
got any kinky goals, it's the best way to pitch it. I'm just saying.
Sure.
So this is awesome, man. And it seems like you're going on a path of comedy, which is a smart move. If she's not big into action, I respect that you're going Ant-Man.
Yep.
I'd also recommend Guardians, because Guardians is very light and funny.
Yes,
If
Guardians
you're trying to
is a good
guide her that way. This is awesome, man. So congratulations on the wedding. Congratulations on watching these movies with it's the coolest thing, isn't it? Like, to watch it with a new person, to like have someone that doesn't know that world experience it with you, get to share that magic. Dope. Congrats.
Yeah.
Relationship goals.
Right? So cool.
There you go. All the comedies together.
And then one iTunes shout out from erock2475. Thank you. I thank you for our fantastic job. We try. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, so unless anybody has anything else to say, that brings us to the end of the show.
Let's close it out. Let's plug it up.
Yeah.
You got
So,
anything to plug?
Justin, where can they find you on social media and any upcoming projects?
So you can find me social media at Acts for Food, ACTS, the number 4, the word food. That pretty much is across the board. Upcoming projects, I'm going to be at LOJ this year, Labyrinth of Jareth Ball.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to be
think on
performing,
Friday.
so that's going to be
Nice.
fun. Sweet.
Yeah.
I'm going to
God,
be
I love me some
the,
Labyrinth.
the Green Man. That'll be fun. And then my improv team performs around town. The Show That Shall is most of our social media. It's a Harry Potter improv team.
Nice.
So,
They're great. I've seen 'em.
Yeah.
Please come find our shows. You can find us on Facebook as well. But other than that, just living the dream.
Fantastic. Koi?
You can find me here. You can also find me on Twitter at COYJANDREAU. Same on Instagram. I do Insta reviews on Instagram, which I love that you guys love, and I take your suggestions and I try to make the ones you suggest. I'm dropping Spawn by request this week, talking about Spawn. I also do far too much Screen Junkie stuff, sometimes with Markia. And you can also find me at Burning Man, and I hope I see at least one of you there so we can talk comics in the Plex. It'll blow my mind.
Yes, you can catch me on Instagram and Twitter at Markia McCarty. That's MarkiaMcCarty. And on Wednesday, Screen Junkies is going to drop that epic level, all the breakdown of Marvel, Netflix, Defenders, before you watch Defenders. So please check that out. And if you love wrestling, even just a little bit, on Mondays at 8:30 on our sister network, AfterBuzz TV. That I do that, the WWE Raw After Show with Johnny LaQuasto, Mark Warzeka, and also Hobo. Hobo's Hobo. You got to see it just for Hobo. So, Ollie.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
Oh.
Where can we catch you, Dreamboat?
You can find me on all social media at Ollie Dreamer. Guys, if you're in the SoCal area, go to Palm Springs Comic-Con, because I think I'm going this year. It's it's really fun. It's a nice little intimate Comic-Con if you don't like the whole crazy San Diego Comic-Con life. But yeah, I'm here every now and then. But yeah.
So thanks for joining us in the Sanctum Sanctorum today. And we'll see you on the other side of Defenders.
Yeah, see you next week.
Guys.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in.
For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.